came with this weird seam. The deck is like almost split in half, so that's kind of weird. Hi everyone, I am Brittany the Cosmic Lunar Soul. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome back to all my subscribers. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing of the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. So I actually didn't buy this. This was, I guess technically I did. This was part of a previous Witch's Boon box. If you're curious about that, I will put a card up. But on Amazon, this retails for $26.96 as of today, the recording of this video. And I know this is actually a pretty popular deck. So yeah, let's get into it. So on the back it says it's a 78 card tarot deck, 144 page companion guide, and it's created and designed by Lindsay Silverman. I guess her handle is the Eye of Astro. This is published by Ulysses Press, and it actually retails for $29.95. So this is the back of the box here, and on the side you can just see the names. I really like when boxes take the time to just print the name on each side, because no matter how you store the box, whether you store it in this way or you store it in this way like a bookshelf, or if you just like set them up flat on a surface, you can always tell which box it is. Not that it would be very difficult with this pattern here. So let's go ahead and look at this box. This is a regular two-piece box, and I like that it has the thumb cut out because it does have that suction in there so you can get a nice grip on it. We can see here the guidebook and the cards. So we'll talk about the cards and the guidebook in a second. This box did come wrapped in cellophane. I just took that off before I started the camera, just so you know that this was a brand new deck. The inside of the box has these hands, which is kind of cool, and the pattern goes all the way around completely. It is a very, very solid deck, so if you like to, solid box, sorry. So if you like to travel with your decks, then I think this would be a pretty good box to travel in. It is a matte finish. It might have a slight shine. No, it's pretty matte. So it is probably fairly scuff resistant, but of course the edges and stuff are going to get beat up if you travel frequently with a tarot box. So let's put that off to the side. Something interesting, and I'm gonna have to look at other flip throughs, is the box was wrapped in cellophane, but if someone had handed me these cards, I would think they had been used. There's no wrapping around the cards, you know, that little, usually there's like a little sleeve, a little plastic band that goes around, and then the guidebook looks, I don't think it's beat up actually. I think that's the print. Maybe not, I'm not sure, but look, the guidebook is really nice. On the back it says pull from the stars, trust what you receive, and then on the front is just more information, and then on the side it has the title and author as well. So this is a very thick book, and the sides, oh, it's actually glossy paper, so you can see that shine there. It's very glossy paper. I'm gonna go ahead and crack the spine, so if you guys don't like to see book spines cracked, you know, look away now. So the guidebook has a table of contents, which I really like. So let's read through here. It goes over mantras, what is tarot, about this deck, how to work with the cards. It breaks it into connecting with your deck, spreads, and clearing, which I think might be cleansing. And then it goes into the cards, the card symbolism. So we have the major arcana, minor arcana, and then we have the major arcana meanings, minor arcana meanings. I don't know what quick guide is, so I'm interested about that. Perhaps the origin story of the deck, meet the maker, and other acknowledgements. So the mantra is just like just a normal, like, happy, you know, I have power kind of mantra. And then it goes into what is tarot, which is nice. So if this is your first deck, you kind of get a little bit of background about everything. and then how to work with the cards. And I like that it says for the very first sentence, there is no one way to read the cards. So this is just talking about how to tap into your intuition or listen to your intuition and just learn what feels right and what doesn't. It goes into connecting with your deck, which I personally think is a little unnecessary. It's a personal pet peeve of mine, but no knock to this book at all. And then it goes into different kinds of 3-card spreads. It goes into a 7-card chakra spread. That was a long one. And then it goes into clearing. So let's see what that means. It says, don't forget to protect your magic. Oh, clearing the energy of your deck is an important ritual. And there are a number of ways to do it. I advise you to investigate these methods or explore your own. So this is basically cleansing. So I personally think that cleansing your deck is a little unnecessary. I kind of talk about it in one of my previous videos, and I'll link it. But yeah, so that's an interesting aspect to it. And then we get into the card symbolism. It talks about, so this is just her explanation, the author's explanation of using intuition with tarot and tapping into what you see with the imagery and stuff like that. It explains what the major and minor arcana is. So again, as a first deck for people, it's great. It explains the details of the minor arcana suits, such as the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. I really like that this part here. It says, as we move through each suit, we witness the cycles we saw in the major arcana in smaller, more specific ways. And I think that's not pointed out enough in tarot. We always talk about the journey of the Fool, but we never talk about the journey of the suits. And each suit has its own journey. And I think it would make learning tarot a little more easy because you can relate it a little more closely to your own personal life, which I think makes learning easier. Okay, so we get into the major arcana, and I'm not going to go through all of it because I'd rather look at the cards, but one of the reasons I was never really personally drawn to this deck is I don't like when cards are unnecessarily renamed. If you're going to do that, just create a new system, in my opinion. But this is very much, I believe this is very much a Rider-Waite-Smith based deck, and I'll kind of get a better idea when I look at the cards, but just from what I've seen other people use of it. But what I do like is at the bottom, so it gives a nice detailed explanation. So if you are a person who is into a more flowery novel-esque explanation of the cards to glean meaning from, this is perfect for you. But then at the bottom it has keywords. I kind of wish it had keywords for upright and reverse, but that is okay. Also, I noticed that some are longer explanations than others, so the pages are not just devoted to one card. So if you like to reference the book, flipping through kind of will be a little bit of a nightmare. But also what I do like is, since they do rename the cards, the traditional name is also included. So here it says the Mystic, traditionally the Hierophant, and then goes into the explanation of what you see on the card, the imagery, all of that, and then of course gives you the keywords. So let's flip through to the minor arcana. Here we have the start of the minor arcana, starting with wands, and it seems same with the minors. It's not all devoted to one page. Just me being picky. There's nothing inherently good or bad about that. It's just not my preference. But again, lays out the imagery of the card and then goes into the keywords. Again, only upright meanings, but I would absolutely love if it had reverse meanings as well. Something we're gonna see in here, and we'll talk about it, is the court cards are renamed as well. Not generally a fan of that. Except for the Queen, which makes me like that even less. So let's see what the quick guide is about. Oh, it's a quick cheat sheet of the keywords for each card. So we have the major arcana, and then it goes through in the order that the book was laid out in. Major arcana, wands, cups, swords, pentacles, and then quick tips. I don't really care for the quick tips. It says when shuffling, if a card pops out, included in the reading. I'm clumsy, so if I did that, I would be paying attention to like 5 cards that I probably just dropped because I'm clumsy. So, and I know that since I've been reading for a while, I know that that's a personal preference and you don't have to do that. But like I said, a lot of the information in here is good for beginners. So I don't like when things like that seem like something you should do. Like if it said, if a card pops out, you have the option of reading it, you know, that kind of thing. So I think language matters. This goes into the origin story of the deck. There's a line in here. It says, I've worked with the traditional Rider-Waite deck since I was a teenager, but often found it too dark and turned to other Oracle deck, which explains a lot of how the deck is structured and why things were renamed. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I feel like I've never done on this channel. If you guys want me to do a flip through and review of my of the Wild Unknown Tarot, comment below and let me know, because it has some similar changes to this, but I like it better. I haven't used this yet, so full transparency here. This is just my initial flip through for you guys. But then we go into meet the maker, acknowledgement, and then we're done. I have to say the artwork is pretty. I like that the book is high contrast. It's black with the white writing. I think that's really cool. I tend to view everything in dark mode, so this is really nice to have dark mode in person. Okay, so let's talk about the cards real quick. They came with this weird seam. Obviously, after I shuffle them a few times, that's going to go away. If you saw my flip through of my Untamed Mysteries, which I'll put here, something similar happened, but after a few shuffles, kind of just merged together. But the deck is like almost split in half, so that's kind of weird. And then it's also strange that it wasn't banded together. So let's just go ahead and prep for the flip through. Okay, so that was the flip through. Let's talk about the cardstock. So here is the back of the card. It just mimics the pattern we saw on the box, and it is the same, more or less finish, the same matte finish. You can see that there's very little light being reflected back on that. And the cardstock itself is pretty standard, actually. It's really nice. You can see on the sides that it's, you know, no frills, and I kind of like that. If you saw my flip through of Game of Thrones, I kind of talk about it. I like that there's no gilding to get all scuffed up, even though gilding's beautiful when you first get a deck, right? So it does, I will say it's probably on the slightly thinner side, but honestly, I think it's in that pretty perfect range. This means that, I mentioned it in another video, thinner decks tend to rifle and bridge better because they pop back, but they also don't overbend. So let's do a bit of a shuffle test. Let's do some overhand. So the mat is not sticky at all in sense of overhanding. New decks can be a little sticky, so yeah, it doesn't want to fan out very well. They do shuffle overhand a little chunky, but let's see how it handles the bridge. I'm gonna shuffle them so they're all upright. Really nice bridge there, nice and smooth, easy to bridge and rifle. Oops. The struggle of small hands. They are still a little on the chunky side, but again, new decks are kind of like that. But they have a really good sound to them when they shuffle, so that's nice. So we can see here, this is what it looks like after it's been shuffled, bridged, and rifled, or rifled and bridged, I should say. A little disjointed here, but nothing too crazy. So it's just not a very uniformly cut deck is what it looks like. It's kind of what it seems to be. They seem to be just a tad, let me see if I can get that on camera. They seem to be just a tad shorter and longer. See that? Almost like a zipper look. Whereas you can see at the bottom that they are smooth. That's what the top should look like, but it doesn't. So it's not the end of the world. It just is what it is. I will say, if you notice that a lot of the cards were renamed just as it was mentioned in the book, not at all a fan of that. I can say that this is probably a deck I will never use, so this will go into my sell or maybe giveaway pile. Comment below, guys. Let me know what I should do with this deck. I feel like everybody's gonna say giveaway, but I'll probably sell it. But if you have this deck, let me know what you think about it. What do you like to use it for? And how do you like the meanings and stuff being changed in the deck? Do you enjoy the guidebook, stuff like that? If you don't have this deck, would you purchase it? Let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.